episodes dropping right on time. One hot angel and one cool devil, bringing podcasts to a whole new level. They stop and stare as we display our greatness. All our enemies and foes, they'll be sure to hate this. When they ask who's the big wolf, you know who's the baddest. Put your hands up, come on, feel the madness. Feel the madness. Feel the madness. Everybody lose control. Feel the madness. Feel the madness. Come along and let's explode. Feel the madness. Come along, come along. Feel the madness. It's crazy in the panel room and it's getting heated. The crowd goes wild, not a soul is seated. You didn't come to have fun, you need to beat it. What Lewis brings to the stage can't be repeated. He brings style that's revolutionary. Sophia in the front doing the dingleberry. Others are playing and get no laughs. Dude, it's kinda scary. Critics and haters, y'all are so pathetic. We'll upstage you and be unapologetic. But back to the subject at hand, keep moving. People love the Angry Geeks, it's been proven. Appreciate all of the fans of Lewis and Sophia. So let us see your hands, come on, feel the madness. Feel the madness. Feel the madness.
Welcome to the shop that you've been dreaming of. Present View Comics, it fits like a glove. Over 250,000 tales waiting to be told. Five-star magic, come and grab some gold. Flip through the pages, let your passion ignite. Every issue you find is a new delight. Present View, where the heroes rise. In every frame, a new surprise. Come and explore the worlds we've got. Five-star wishes in every spot. From classics to treasures, we've got.
She's too hot to handle, I'm too cold to hold, and we're on the road to Rhode Island Anime Con. Hey, before we get going and before we catch up, what are you doing? Pilates or something? What are you doing?
I'm trying to get my light brighter.
All right, well, stop it. Get to the comments first. Then we'll catch up. Then we got one of the coolest cats. We got the bad boy of comics in the back. We got to bring him on stage quick because I want to talk to him. I got to ask him why he picked this one place, this one state, this one city for his comic that we're going to talk about. So
Okay.
get to the comments quick.
All right. Okay. Hello, Regals. Oh,
What's
welcome
going
in.
on?
Happy Monday. Hello, Sasuke. Hello, beautiful. How are you? How are you
I'm
doing?
good, Sasuke. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? Regals. Hey, Sophia. How you doing? How you doing? Oh, Evil. Feel the madness. Oh yeah.
That's
Thanks
right,
so much. How you
that's
doing,
right. Thank
Evil?
you. Thank you.
We got emotes. Thank you for the emotes. Hello, IVX Dragon.
What's
Welcome
going on,
in.
brother?
And we have Donald. Hello, Donald. Hi,
Donald, what's
Sophia.
going on?
And
Hopefully we'll
Beats.
see you this weekend. All right, that's it. That's all we got. The rest is all emotes, of
And we
course.
got Dingleberry.
Dingleberry. We got a Dingleberry.
Thank you for the Dingleberry.
We got a Dingleberry. No, we don't got a dead hooker. We got a
Dingleberry
Dingleberry.
time. Dingleberry.
Well, no, because we got the the dead hooker.
Oh my god! You killed a hooker!
That was underneath the Dingleberry. Anyway, we're going on road trip this weekend. I gotta pick you up very early on Friday. Then we're gonna be hanging out at Rhode Island Anime Con. Did you see what was made and I posted on the Insta throughout the social medias today?
I was not on social medias today.
Oh, we gotta check it out because I made you a collaborator
Oh, I'll have to check that.
or an instigator, whatever you want to call it.
I'm great, thank you. Oh my effing god, Luis, what's up? How are
What's
you?
up? How are you doing, brother? How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Anyway, are you excited for Rhode Island Anime Con?
Yes, so
Yeah,
excited.
I know.
Wicked excited.
I know, but we're going to be working. We're going to be singing and blinging Saturday night, 7 o'clock. And the after party, we're going to be restreaming live from the after party, but not like usual. We're going to be doing it off the phones.
If we have reception.
If we have reception, we're going to do it off the phones. We're not going to bring the portable studio, but we are going to be running around, taking pictures, doing social media posts. So we're going to have some fun. And can't wait. Angry Geeks are taking the stage once again for alternate reality entertainment. But speaking about taking the stage, our guest tonight is, I consider him a friend. And
Thank you, Crowbar.
thanks, Crowbar. Anyway, I consider him a friend. And I also consider him a true bad boy. A bad boy of comics. Everything he writes turns to gold. And I mean, one of my
I will.
Will. I'm doing an intro of our guest Will, but hey brother, how you doing? Yeah, you're in the danger zone. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, from cowboys all the way to pop icons to soda pop and magic spies, this dude can write it all. And he's a part of a dynamic duo, but we're not going to get over there. The one and only Jimmy Palmiotti. What's going on, my friend?
Hey guys, hey man.
Welcome.
Hey.
Man, you got a new book coming out. And why Denver? That's when I was reading the premise. Now I didn't read the book. Melissa didn't send it over or anything, but I read what it's about. It's cool premise, and if anyone was going to come up with something like this, it's got to be you and the crew you got working for you.
Yeah, it's called Denver. Basically, what happens is in the first 2 pages of the book, the moon gets split into it gets quartered a little bit by a meteor, and it sends all the it sends Earth, because the moon keeps the magnetic pull of the planet aligned. The Earth pretty much gets flooded pretty quickly, and but it takes a certain amount of time for all this to happen. It's sort of like what we're going through now. Like the planet's probably, gonna turn to crap in a while, but it's not gonna happen overnight, right? It'll maybe take a couple more generations, but I tried. The focus point of the story is that in the future, there's not a lot of places left that aren't water. I'm not talking water world kind of stuff. I'm talking about just that there are higher points on the planet and there are lower points. And outside of Denver, the city is one of the higher points in the United States as far as height wise. And they moved most of the city, and they built this city called Denver up there. And because of this city, it's sort of like, at one point we lost a shitload of the population of the planet, but in this city, every person is accounted for. So there's let's say there's 1 million people. That means they have enough food, they have enough water, they have enough everything to supply these people. But there are other people all over the world floating around on ships and cruise ships and stuff like that, wanting to get here, but they can only let in a person at a time. Meaning, if somebody dies in this city, they can either let somebody in or let somebody that's there have a berth. Like they can't go past higher on a number. They can only go lower, but unfortunately, that's not something they have to deal with. So we have a lot of people trying to get into this city, and the basic story is about this guy Max Flynn and his two partners, and they're the Coast Border Guard. They're the ones that like patrol the city to make sure unwanted people and boats are coming in illegally. But they do, like I said, the city lets people in, but you have to line up for it in a way where they call you out and you get to come to the city. So it's a tight control in a very controlled future in a city that's trying to survive. And this is many years later after the disaster, and the city is doing great. But it's not. They're not building new land. They're a highly functioning city, meaning everybody's taken care of. Everybody has a job. Everybody has food and drink. The only problems they have to deal with the outside forces that want to come into the city and throw a monkey wrench into it. And so the story's about Border Patrol agents that have to deal with a bunch of bad guys that want to come in, and they have this long play scheme to get into the city, and they're playing some of our main characters. And I want to say it's a little bit of like, it's got a little bit of Die Hard to it. It's very adult, so there's nudity and there's excessive violence and there's cursing. Sophia, you'll like that. And there's a lot of crazy shit in the series. It's a 3-issue series, an oversized book, and we have the artwork in it. Justin Gray and I came up with the concept, and then we worked with this guy. Pierre Brito, who I met in Amsterdam, and his artwork's just beautiful. But like a really good European, he loves digging into this cool cities, and there's not a lazy bone in this guy's body. And I just think it's a beautiful book to look at, but it's a very adrenaline filled kind of crazy story that starts off slow and keeps building up till we really do have an ending. This will not be one of those books where you read it and it doesn't end. This thing has a crazy ending to it. And yeah, man, we actually did this book as a Kickstarter over 10 years ago.
That's my next question. I was like, how long were you been sitting on this?
Yeah, well, I wasn't planning on putting it out again. Some of my Kickstarters just stay Kickstarters. But last year years before we did a thing called Pop Kill. I'm wearing a shirt right now.
Yeah, you were on the show. Well,
yeah.
We talked about it.
So we did that back then, and Mad Cave really kicked ass with it. The book sold like a monster for them and everything, and basically Mark London, the president, and Mark Irwin said, "What else you got?" And I said, I have this book Denver, but in order to make it like a 3-issue thing, I'm going to add some pages. So the Kickstarter version is the original version, and maybe a couple thousand people have that still. But this one has added pages. Like we blew it up a little bit to make sure it's a good read each issue. When you read each issue, it's not a piece of something. It's a whole story. So yeah, we blew it up a little bit. Pierre came back and did some more pages. We re-edited it and we repackaged. It's a repackaging of a book that most people never saw.
So it's like the extended version of
the original one we did as a Kickstarter. But again, the Kickstarter, we're talking maybe 1,000 people got it, they paid a lot more money for it. The book back then was like 30. But this is 3 issues. This is broken up differently. The thing with my Kickstarters are, when I do them, it's for the people that back the Kickstarter. So the books are unique to that Kickstarter. So none of the covers or the artwork from the books in the Kickstarter are being used for this series. These are, like, everything is new outside of the book. So, like, the first issue we have, Amanda, my wife, did a cover. Pierre Brito did a new cover. Dave Johnson and Uko Smith did 4 covers for the book that are 4 original new covers. And that's how Mad Cave rolls. They want to repackage it, but they want to do it as if it's the first time anybody's seeing it. Sort of like Pop Kill, same way. And then we have retailer editions and everything. That's a whole nother animal. But For this one, it's just I'm really excited about it because I think it's a little different than anything anybody's been reading. It's not a superhero book. It is not. It is definitely not. It is an unshaven, foul-mouthed, kind of rough guy and his partners kind of just taking out anybody that's out of line. It's a little, like I said, it's a little more hardcore than a lot of the stuff I do. But I think the people that buy it will really dig it.
Who chose a release date of August? Do you? I always often wonder that. Now the book comes out August 26th.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so who chooses that? Does the publisher choose
so
it?
Mad Cave chose that. I think I think they're just trying. They put out a certain amount of books a month, and I guess we waited until they felt it was the right gap to put it in, because we do also have another Pop Kill series that comes later.
Oh.
So I mean, I think it's just their decision. Is August a good time? I have no idea. I mean, it's hot as hell, and maybe reading a book where there's a lot of ocean and water around, maybe that'll cool people off a little bit. Those kind of scheduling things are all out of my hands. They know what's going to sell and when it's going to sell. The good news is I got time to promote it now, and then I got a bunch of conventions before it comes out to talk about it and get the press out there. I mean, right now, as far as on my end, I need people to go to the comic shops and say, hey, can you order that for me? Because as you know, 100 and something books come out a month, and more than that, actually, a couple of hundred books. So unless it's ordered, there's some stores that don't even get the book unless a reader goes in there and says, hey, can you put those 3 issues aside for me when they come out? Unfortunately, that happens a lot, and unfortunately, a lot of books I do are worth a lot of money because they didn't order them that high. So I'd rather more people read it and not worry about the collector. The collectability will be there with the alternate covers and the chase covers and shit like that. That'll be there. When we work in this business, we want people to read our books, so that's what's most important.
Okay. Hey, John Voight from Awesome Geek Headquarters is here. John, if you could be so kind, Awesome Geek Headquarters is one of our networks that we air our show. If you could be so kind, why don't you start telling people in Awesome Geek Headquarters to go to your LCS and tell them to Let's Get Denver. Start pre-ordering this book now. Get it into the LCS. Get them into the shops. And August 26th is not that far away, believe it or not.
No, it's my birthday's in August, so that's like a good month for me.
Oh, nice.
Maybe that's why they did it.
Maybe that's for my birthday they did it.
Yeah.
Mine's on the 14th, but it's a week and a half later. It's okay. As my wife says, it's my birthday month. So
There you go.
yeah.
All right, so Jimmy, you had Justin Gray, you had Pierre, you had Bill working on the book, covers by Amanda, Pierre, Uko, and Dave Johnson. This book sat in your place for 20 years, you said? 10 years?
10 years. In that wall behind me. Yeah.
Okay. How did the team react when you said, okay, we're bringing this back, Mad Cave's going to go, and we're going to add more to it? Pierre, it's more work, right? So he's the guy that probably benefits the most because I pay him whatever he wants. And, but no, I mean, again, I said it earlier, we exist. We want people, our job is to create, and we hope that people read it. I mean, we don't have very complicated jobs when we create comics. We really just want people to enjoy our books, get their mind off the world for a couple of minutes or a half hour, and dig in and put yourself somewhere else for a while. We don't have the noble jobs like doctors and nurses and firemen and stuff like that. But to entertain people is a good karma type thing, I think. And I wouldn't be pushing it hard if I didn't think it was very entertaining and if I didn't think it was good. But when you work with a crew like Justin and Pierre and everybody, they're just happy that a new group of people are going to finally discover this. Because when we do the Kickstarters, it's like hanging out with
1,000 of your best friends. You know, like they're gonna buy everything you do and read it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I mean, you know, one day I'd like to get the Kickstarters up, the people up, backing them up, the numbers up. But when you put when you put something out mainstream and it's going to be in comic shops, of course you're going to get a new audience to look at it. And being in the business as long as I have, and I've been in the business since 91 or 90, you have to keep reintroducing yourself all the time to new readers, because we have generations coming in the store now that, look, there's a whole generation that like learned who I was when I did Marvel Knights, or when I did Ash back then, or Painkiller Jane. There's another generation that just started reading Harley Quinn when Amanda and I did it. So we're the Harley Quinn people to them. Some people I'm the Marvel Knights guy. Some people I'm the Jonah Hex guy. You know, so it's like all the time. And then, you know, right now I have, between this and I have the Deadly Tales of Gunslinger with Todd. You know, that's my steady. You have to keep reinventing and reintroducing yourself to the audience, you know. And sometimes we get to hang with the audience for many years, meaning they get older and they still buy comics. But we do lose a lot of them along the way because they have more important things, or they have, you know, families and stuff like that. And my thing is always, you have to kind of reintroduce yourself to an audience all the time. Hey, Bill. And, you know, so it's important to have new stuff out. And I'm all about new ideas. I mean, look, it's great. Everybody enjoys Batman and Spider-Man and all that shit. But realistically, I'm an adult. I like a little TNA in my books. I like a little violence. I like my shit a little dirty and a little heavy metal. And to get that, I have to sometimes put it out myself.
Oh man!
Okay. Nice.
Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No,
Little one?
you're saying that's nice. Yeah, you got to cater to like those people too. You know.
Yeah, I think you know, we all like to think about how we appear to the world, but realistically, we're all just wild animals, you know. And and a lot of times we just want what we want when we want it. And with entertainment, you have to, you know, there's a reason. You know, there's blockbusters in the movie theaters, but there's another reason why cable gets some really crazy shit movies out that are not big hits, but there's an audience for them. And I just think with comics, we got people who love superheroes, and that's great, but I like the genre stuff, and I like the stuff a little adult. And I just think, like I said, I don't feel like there's enough of that out there, so I'm filling some kind of void. You know,
Right.
it could be filling the void is probably the title of everything in my life, but definitely for this, I feel like we need science fiction and sexy stuff and wild stuff, and I think Denver delivers it and totally delivers it.
Hence
yeah.
hence the title of tonight's episode: Adult Material and Violence. Acclaimed writer Jimmy.
You know,
Cormier.
I always say that the sex and violence doesn't mean anything unless you really care about the characters. And that is the number one goal, is like, you know, always with the main character, what do they want and what do they fear? And if you can kind of get these two things out of a person, you know, you get to know them really quickly. And if they're being honest about the answer. Not always easy for people to answer both those things. What do they want and what do they fear? Because they have these things where they think they want something, but in reality they may want something that they just don't want to say out loud. And what people fear is very diverse. And it gives us a little insight to the characters. So we try to do that with every character we're writing. We try to define who they are. So part of the comic and part of the entertainment is that everybody sounds differently. Everybody's a different person. And again, with superheroes, I find a lot of the books are written like, here's the hero, and the hero's always this way. And I find it kind of boring. And I think that's why I find flawed people a lot more interesting than the perfect people. Mahana, how are you, Mahana?
Well, that is how your representation of Jonah Hex was so much different than anybody else's, because you made him this badass of a character, not just a Western bounty hunter.
I remember we did the first issue, and a kid got bit, and he had rabies. This small young boy, and I got a call from Dan DiDio, who was the editor-in-chief at DC at the time, and he calls me. He says, "Listen," he goes, "I just read Jonah Hex 1." He goes, "Seriously, you have him smothering a child in the first issue. What the hell is going on? And I said, well, he has rabies, and back then they didn't have treatment for rabies, so the kid was going to have a horrible and painful death. And Jonah Hex did the empathy. He smothered the kid quickly. And I said, you can read that book any way you want. You could read it as Jonah being a horrible man, or you could read him as being he has empathy for the kid and doesn't want the kid to talk. It depends how you want to read it. But I said, I said, damn, but it's true to the character what he did,
and that's how it was back then.
Right, and that's how it. It was a different world than now. And I embrace that when I do stuff, whether it's the future or the past. Embrace the world you're in. Understand the world you're in, and that makes for a better book.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about.
Hold on, wait. Mahana. Doing well, thanks. Great to be able to catch the show. Thank you for catching the show.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I don't think I ever asked you this, because usually we're laughing, or because you usually have somebody with you and we're cracking jokes, even when we shared a stage in Colorado Springs.
That was fun. That was fun.
Yes. When you're writing, do you take, and you're designing a character, because that's what writers do, you design a character.
Sure.
Do you choose an influence to design a character from, or do you take a little bit of you? Do you take a little bit of Amanda? Do you take a little bit of Buddy down the street, or Charlie over on the corner?
I tend to, when I write Painkiller Jane, it's probably the closest to who I am. Okay. My wife always says, like, Jane is you. She's like, she says that character is you. The way she reacts and the way she talks to people is you. But when I do write other characters, when I write other characters, though, I tend to, I look at who they are, and sometimes I model them after people I know because I know how they're going to react. Sometimes I have to keep I have all these little index cards everywhere, all in front of me, of the characters, and as I'm building them, I write personality traits, likes, dislikes, about their family and stuff like that. I try to keep loyal to it. In like Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger, I was handed a character by Todd McFarlane that Todd created, but he created a modern version of the character, and he said, "I need you to write the gunslinger in the Old West." So I wrote like a 20-page bio of the character's life. His relatives, his mom and dad, how they came over to America, the whole thing. Now, will it ever appear in the book? It might not, but it helps me understand how he would react to something based on how he grew up and how his family treated him. And that kind of stuff makes the character be distinctive and stand out in a different way. Because, again, the issue I have a lot of times with writers is all the characters are their voice. And I don't want to... these are all different people, and you don't have interesting conversation if everybody's the same. The worst nightmare we can all have is hanging out all night with 2 or 3 of ourselves, because we probably want to kill ourselves. We love people because of their differences. We love them because we don't know what they're thinking all the time, or the spontaneity of other people is what we're attracted to a lot. What we find attractive in people isn't the same things we have, and it's really important to understand that. Like, I always tell people when I was younger, I always knew how one of my relationships were going to end when they started, because I always knew the thing that I was attracted to is going to be the thing that's going to break us up.
Really?
So think about your older girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever, and you say, well, I really liked her because she was spontaneous and crazy and wild. And then it's like, oh, I can't take it. She's too spontaneous, crazy. Like, there is a little bit of that. If you think about your past relationships, you think about what attracted you to them at first. Is a lot of times is what kind of is the killer later on.
It gets to be too much, you mean?
Yeah, it gets to be too much, or you think you're going to control it on some level. When you're in a relationship, you're going to be able to neuter it a bit. Or, move around with it a little bit more. As to say, Calvin. How you doing, Calvin?
Hey, Calvin. What's going on, brother?
But it has everything to do with character building, and that stuff's so important in the stories. I am not Jonah Hex. I don't think like Jonah Hex. But when I write him, I have to think about how he's looking at something. Same thing with Gunslinger. I have to read all of Todd's books and realize this is how he reacts to this stuff. So in the past, if I'm going to have him react the same way, I have to actually figure out the why of it because I'm writing him when he was younger.
Okay.
And then then he has trauma that he goes through, and we realize that trauma creates something in him that makes him act a certain way. And we all have that. You ask 10 friends about going to the doctors, they're going to tell you 10 different stories about how they love it, they hate their doctor, that guy's full of crap, they charge me to. They'll have 10 different stories about doctor stories, And we're all, and you realize that, everybody's experience is based on things in the past that they bring into it. The people who were not afraid of doctors never had experiences while they were younger, and or parents that were sick or stuff like that. So everybody's experiences are shaped by the things in their lives, and that's what we have to do with the characters.
I'm like looking at you now in a totally different light.
Well, it is like a warm light.
Yeah, it is because, dude, every time we interact, whether at a con or the last few times you were on the show with Sophia and I, it was nothing but chaos. We were laughing and everything. What's going on, guy? But now it's like you're by yourself. You're totally calm and tame, and it's like you're like shedding knowledge. And this is like a totally different Jimmy. And it's like awesome. I'm like,
you should have saw me last weekend when I was in Copenhagen. I had like a bunch of comic creators. Yeah, we were in Copenhagen last week. Yeah, in Denmark, and we went out drinking one night with a bunch of comic creators, and they're very, they were very like they want to eat dinner and have a nice conversation. And after dinner, I said, "Well, where do you go here?" And they're like, "What do you mean go?" And I said, "No, where can we get like a big pitcher of beer and get trash?" And I dragged them all out with me, and I got them a little. I love when people start to loosen up a little bit because you have a great time, And I had a great time, but there's a time for that, right? And then there's a time you got to work. I think a well-rounded person has to make time for everything.
Dude, you are. Oh my God, it's like I'm like seeing a totally different side of you, and this is awesome. Hey, we gotta take 30 seconds, and we'll be right back. Sophia,
Yes.
do your job.
Oh, yes. Okay. My bad. Okay. So the Erica Legacy Foundation is a foundation that helps people that are going through a hard time mentally or emotionally. If you or a loved one are going through a hard time, please check out the Erica Legacy Foundation, theericalegacy.com. They help many, many people in need.
It's now time for Quiz with Quimsel.
Sophia on the beat, we turning heads, bringing heat to the street. Get ready now, it's our time to shine. Feel the rhythm, every move is divine. Feel the madness, it's a party in your soul. Feel the madness, let the good times roll. Feel the madness, come and join the ride.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question and you have to answer correctly. The first person to go will be the guest, then Chat, then Lewis. Today's question is, who was the first Disney princess to have a tattoo?
Oh boy, we consider Pocahontas a Disney princess, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing she might have been the first one because it's in their culture to have the tattoos. I think that's a very important thing to the culture.
Okay. All right. Chat. Guy says Lewis.
Lewis is the first.
They can see me. Answer is Sophia. Oh,
Yeah, I mine are more manlier than Sophia's.
Oh, okay.
how you doing? They can see me.
Oh, there you go. Amen. Nice.
Yeah. And Sophia, show yours.
I have
Jimmy
43
Yeah.
So pick the ones that are easy. There you go. Oh, look at that. I like that.
lightsabers. We
Yeah.
got AT. We got a gun.
Nice.
T-Rex.
Yep.
Boba Fett. Some swords.
Is that all the same
Harley
artist?
Quinn. No. Well, yeah. Yes. 99% yes.
Yeah, they
Got,
look similar. Yeah.
Harley Quinn.
Very cool.
Takashi.
I would show you mine, but they're on other people. When I was in college to pay for my apartment bills and stuff, I would give tattoos. So
That's cool.
yeah, so but I never had any on my own because I couldn't settle on a piece of art. I had all my Polaroids, because people say, what do you do? I say I only do original stuff, and I would do the Sharpie. I would draw it, and I say take it home, see if you like it for a day, and then come back and I'll do the outline. But I did that for to make money while I was in school.
That's cool.
I
Nice.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they hated that I didn't have any. But I said, I think one time I almost got one. I was with all the guys from Chaos, and they were all in San Diego getting a tattoo that night of the I guess the skull or Evil Ernie or something. And I almost did it, but I was just not drunk enough. I needed like one or two more drinks, and I thank God I didn't do it. But I just never been able to settle. I think the closest I ever had is I had like a stencil of a devil dancing with a pitchfork, and then I still didn't do it. I was like I chickened out. I don't know.
No, I mean it's good if you don't feel it. Why do I have an
Yeah.
echo?
Yeah, I
I
mean
don't know. I don't know. All right, so is more
You have an
chat
echo.
coming in? Because I have my answer.
go.
Nope. Yeah, your turn, Luce.
All right, I'm not sure which movie came out first, but I'm gonna say Mulan. I think Mulan came out before Pocahontas, so I'm gonna say Mulan.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. That's something. Sophia might know that better than I.
The answer is Pocahontas.
Ah, damn you, Jimmy.
What do you mean? There was an actual answer, like a real
Yes,
answer?
it was a. So Jimmy gets a point, and I get nothing. Damn
Like
it.
that's a real question you were asking, or it was just I thought we were just making it up and stuff.
No.
Oh,
No,
really?
Yes.
Oh, and I got it right. Fuck yeah. All right.
Yes, you got it right. Damn it. Damn.
Oh, that's great.
That,
What did I
that, that
win?
means, damn.
I win bragging rights. Is that what I win?
Yes, that's you. That's what you.
All right. Look. That counts. Yeah.
The next con that we're at, we'll have to take you out to dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you are writing, and I know I asked you this before,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I did. When you were writing each character, and we are already talking about each character having a voice,
Mm-hmm.
what voice do you hear in your head for each character? Is it someone from your past, someone from the future? Is it an actor? Is it a voice actor? Do you hear each character?
With Jonah Hex, like I imagine like a Clint Eastwood, but a little younger kind of guy. With Painkiller Jane, it's my voice and a little bit of a Brooklyn voice to her, very like attitude shit. I think with the characters, I do hear distinctive voices. I'm not always. I'm hearing their conversations being distinctive. The actual tone is probably. Look, we know when we see a movie and we go, oh, that's not the right voice for that cartoon. Like that's like Harley. We can talk about that, right? Because like there's so many people that do Harley, and is Kaylee Coco great for Harley? I'm like, she's pretty good. I said, but visually, I think she'd make a better Power Girl, Kaylee Coco.
Yeah.
But like, I do hear the voices, but it's not in a go get a gun and kill the president way. I just hear them in the conversation that I'm writing. I honestly, I hear the voices when I have, when I was writing something today, and it was about a mother talking to a kid and telling the kid a story, and I'm like, how gentle is the mother going to tell this story? And I realized, well, the kid's 18, and she doesn't have time to screw around. So the way the mother tells the story is pretty much how she would tell somebody she knew and not her kid it, because she needs to get it out. So a lot of times it's tone and the anxiousness of the character and whatever. It's all it's an interesting thing, and I think it comes from listening to people more than talking over them. I definitely you'll see me out and about, and I am the first person in a group to be quiet to listen to other people. I'm not the one that's trying to talk over everybody, because I feel I have a lot more to learn if I'm listening. And then when there's a time for me to jump in, I do. But I'm not that person that is that needy with conversation, if that makes sense. We all have anxious people around us. And a lot of that comes from insecurity. So part of the writing is to understand the why of the way people speak, and also the anxiousness and where that comes from. I think maybe having like 6 years of therapy really helped me out with that, because I think it taught me to, well, I'll pull something off my wall here. Well, I will, but I have all these things. Amanda makes me all these things that you can't see facing the wall. And one of them says, slow the F down. Another is a turtle with a snail on its back, and it says slow the fuck down. Another one that says slow down, enjoy the moment. This is my favorite one. She did for me. She wrote that in
Put that back up. Put that back up.
So she wrote that when I was on the phone with somebody I was going into business with, and they were canceling the business with me. They were like, no, I can't do it. They were, talking and making an excuse. And she put that on the wall, like blessing in disguise, because she was seeing how I was reacting to it. I think having these things on the wall helps me out, because, we all need to slow down a little bit, right? Because when we slow down, we actually get to listen to people a little more intense. We're trying to, when people say something, it's not always exactly the words they're saying. They're trying to tell us something, but they don't know how to say it, or they're saying it in a way that we have to look past the words a little bit and how they're saying it. And all of that comes with slowing down and absorbing things correctly. And as a writer, you have to kind of do that all the time. You guys, Louis and Sophia, you guys are completely different from each other, right? And the great thing is you're friends, so you can celebrate that difference, right? It's not an attack thing, it's a celebration. Like, I love that you love this, you love that he loves that, and you don't have to love that, but you can appreciate the passion that each other has for things.
Yes,
And
it's true.
and so that has a lot to do, like that kind of interaction, that kind of understanding helps your work when you're a writer, because you start to look past. It's why certain movies stay with you so long, and then other ones, an hour later, you forgot about them. The ones that stay with you really have this this well-written thing about the characters that you empathize or attach yourself to, and it's that, that's part of the gig. I noticed that Jar Jar Jeremy asked me, "Do you get the best pizza, Jimmy?" Do I get
Where?
it? Do I get it?
Where do you get it?
When I'm in Brooklyn, I'll say L&B Gardens in Brooklyn, or that's my favorite. And I'm in Tampa area, so there's a place called Nona's, and they do a deep dish Detroit pizza that's amazing. They burn all the cheese on the edge, and it's crunchy, and so yes, I do get the best pizza, Jar Jar Jeremy, but I get it all over the place. So everywhere I go, I try to seek out the better food. Who doesn't do that? I mean, come on.
I try to plan. Now Jar Jar Jeremy's my brother.
Okay.
And I'm mad at him because he didn't pick up the phone.
Yeah, he was busy.
No, he wasn't busy. He was just avoiding my phone call.
I doubt that.
Yeah. So when Sophia and I, when we travel, and when Jar Jar and I travel, when we go to different cons,
right,
we always plan out food. I got to make sure the little one eats.
Yes.
Because we're constantly running around the convention floor, on stage, off stage, wherever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you got to eat. We're going to eat here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So yeah, I'm constantly scoping out the best places, the best food for the value.
I think airplane trips are great. There's just to search for what restaurants are around, and and then see. We inevitably will always book a restaurant for a Sunday night, because we like to stay till Monday. So Sunday night is our, like, we can dig in. This con I got a con coming up in Phoenix, Arizona, and they literally have me book like the con and then what I'm doing that night. Like, I'm doing a charity thing Saturday night for Heroes, and I noticed that I'm done at the con's like from 9 to 7, and then they have me at a place at 7:30 doing this charity event, and I'm like, where's my food? Like, when do I get to eat? And they're like, oh, after the event. And I'm just like, no, man. I'm like, I'm there from 9 to 7. I got a small lunch, and I need to eat something before I'm going to sit there for 3 hours drawing on people's coasters for charity. You know, I don't want to be hangry, man, because I'll just you'll ask me to draw something and I'll just draw whatever I want. It'll get ugly real quick. You know, so I want to make sure we're fed, and I think it's important, man. You know, cons. Yeah. We get so wrapped up in the fun of the con, and then we realize oh my god, I didn't eat anything today, or I ate I ate crap. You know,
it's true. I mean, they yell at me. They're like, "You got to drink. You got to drink water. You're talking all day long. You got to drink water. Drink water." But exactly, and I'm like, I'm yelling at her like, "You got to stop and eat." And you're like, "Speak for yourself."
Here's the trick with water. I'm going to give you guys some little science type stuff. I'm not going to get into the science, but if you keep a thing like this with water around while you're working, it's good, right? You go, but don't go with straight water. Take a pinch of salt and put it in.
Salt.
Because Now you won't even taste it, by the way, but put it in there because the body doesn't necessarily absorb straight water. It needs something else in it.
Oh.
And so when you drink, so people say, "Oh, I drink water all day." I'm like, yeah, but you probably drinking straight water, and what happens is your body breaks up the end. It's just, trust me on this one, a little pinch of salt, and your body will process the water better.
Huh.
You won't taste the salt. You know, people drink drinks, and of course, when it goes in our body, it separates the sugars, and it separates this and separates that. When you drink straight water, it doesn't always directly hydrate you. That's why when people drink these sports drinks, they usually have sodium in them. And what it does is, yes, they have sugar in them, and yes, they have sodium, but they need the sodium in them to replenish the body, to hydrate the body. Now, when you drink straight water, okay, you're putting water in you, but it doesn't 100% hydrate you. So a little salt in it, and it's actually becomes hydrating, as opposed to drinking water all day. It's not going to do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a minor thing, and I said you don't taste the salt, so it's not anything like that. But that's what's in those power drinks. When you're like after working out and Gatorade, it's about the sodium levels, and so it makes sense to put it in your regular water, but you don't have the sugar, so you're not putting extra work into your body. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Again.
I'm an old guy. I'm old, right? So
again, you're like blowing me away with this knowledge. Hey, we got to take another 30 seconds and we'll be right back.
It's the question of the week. Let's dive right in. Riddles and laughter. Where do we begin? Silly little queries, they never grow old. In this game of wits, our stories unfold. Why did the chicken cross? Oh, who knows why? Knock jokes that make us all sigh.
Hey, question of the week is brought to us by Alternate Universe LLC, Milford and New Haven. The flagship store is, of course, in Milford. Eric, we'll get you your comics, mail them flat, just like Stan Lee did back in the day. Jimmy knows exactly what I'm talking about there. Eric, start ordering Denver now for August the 26th. Get them. I mean, you have Mad Cave stuff on the shelf, and you know who Jimmy is, you know who Amanda is, but you definitely got to get Denver on the shelves. Question number 1, Sophia and Jimmy, then chat. Sophia, Jimmy goes first, then Sophia, then I'll answer it. Question number 1. Would you rather always walk backwards or talk backwards? Question number 1 from the Book of Yakko. Would you rather always walk backwards or talk backwards?
Yeah, I think walk backwards, no problem. That's the easy one. Because if you talk backwards, you're going to have to, nobody's going to know what the hell you're talking about. If you walk backwards, you can plan that, man. You can just say, all right, I need to go over there. I just turn around and walk backwards. I mean, really not, I don't think it's a difficult thing walking backwards. I think I think talking backwards, man, I think that would be an issue. I think, I could walk backwards into any restaurant and order my meal. If I'm talking backwards, man, I might be there for a while. So I'm going to go with walking backwards for my life instead of talking backwards. That's my choice.
Sophia?
I'd say the same, walking backwards, but I think it'd be funny if you were yelling at someone backwards and they don't know what you're saying. It'd be kind of funny.
Would the words be backwards? Like, would they be spelled backwards? Or if I said "fu," it would be "uf"? You know, I mean, what do you think?
That's a
Like,
good question.
What exactly is backwards to you?
I'm thinking that you're talking backwards, or like.
But are the words backwards or the letters backwards?
You know what I mean? Look, I get Bob would still be Bob. I get that, right? But if I go ouch, am I going to ouch is H? You know, is it going to be a whole nother thing, or is it?
That's true.
I would think your sentences would be backwards.
Right. So like Zantana.
Yes. Okay. Like Zantana.
Like okay. So like, ass my eat. Right. That would be like. So that would be a backwards thing.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if Zantana says that. I guarantee she might.
Yeah, except when Batman's around.
But,
yes.
When somebody's around. But
yeah, Barry Dingle.
Yes. There you go. I think I'd still rather walk backwards. I think.
Yeah.
You know, I bet it would build up muscles we never even thought we had.
It's true.
All right, Sophia, anyone in chat before we get to question number 2?
Yes. So Mangoat says communication being very important. I think walking backwards would be the easier choice. And Guy says walk because I don't get out much and just sit all day. There you go.
You should sit backwards.
All right. Question number 2. What is the weirdest thing you've ever Googled out of pure curiosity? What is the weirdest thing you've ever Googled out of pure curiosity? Jimmy?
Man, that's not an easy one because that's when you have to really dig deep and think hard about. Man, you know, I Google everything. So I would hate if the government just pulled it up and go, okay, what were you thinking here? You know.
But see, you can get away with it, though, because you can say research.
Okay, I will say I Googled how to create a working pulse weapon.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, because a pulse weapon, basically what we know about pulse weapon is like when an atomic bomb goes off, right when it drops and the atoms break it sends out a pulse where it kills all electricity, right? So before a big bomb, you see the lights go out, everything goes out, and then you hear the boosh, right? A pulse weapon would be a contained that I can aim, and it would take out any kind of electricity, any kind of thing like that. So in one of the books I was doing, I was like, well, I don't want to just write about it. I want to know how it would actually work. And I started looking into that. Another time, I looked up how to blow up an airplane. Now, this was a long time ago. This was in the, I would say late 90s. It was like late 90s, like 99 or 2000. And I did that because I had a story where they were going to blow up an airplane, right? It was going to be, and I was thinking of what's a creative way of doing that nobody's thought of. And I read a whole story about how 3 guys got on a plane and they each had certain pieces of a gun. And each one of them during the flight would go into the men's room and put it in the garbage part where the papers were. And then the last guy would go in and pull all the pieces out, put the gun together, and then go up to the cockpit and take it out and crash the plane. So I read about that, and you know, so when you do these searches, I always think I'm being like going to get pulled over at airports because somebody's asking why, you know, that kind of stuff. But I would say probably mine would be probably, if it's not on a porn site, I would say mine would be how to create a pulse weapon.
Nice.
Sophia, what do you got, little one?
So it's not like, I guess it's weird, but not weird. I wanted to know if cats dream when they sleep.
Okay.
I guess it could apply to any pet, though. It could be like a dog. Like, do they have dreams like we do?
Yeah, they do, right? I mean, that's the answer.
I think so.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Now I want to know if fish dream. Thanks a lot.
Probably, I mean, if there is an actual sleep state, then I'm thinking there's a dream state.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Chat.
So Mango says this is a family-friendly show, so really think about your answers. Oh my. Guy says, is my cat plotting against me? And if so, what are his demands?
Right.
There you go.
Maybe animals dream that humans speak like their language instead.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Evan says, search myself on Wikipedia just for fun and nothing. Actually, I have Googled myself just to see out of curiosity, and just all my social medias pop up.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Google yourself? Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, that's good.
Now, I was going to say, yeah, I do Google myself a lot, and that just came out totally bad. But yes, and...
oh my.
The love starts at home. Come on.
Yeah. No, it's cool because if you ever do Google yourself, you'd be surprised on different photos. Like I did Google like Sophia and I,
right,
and a picture side by side of us, and a picture of Macho Man and one of his valets came up. And it was like so weird because I was wearing an outfit of homage to one of his outfits, and Sophia and I came up side by side with him. It was like really cool. So
well, I just Googled myself, and
on camera.
Well, the camera's below. You guys only have this.
Clip that. No.
Yeah, I mean, come on. But it's just, okay. It just has a lot of comics and stuff and a profile. Oh yeah, this Justin and Joe Quesada and Amanda. And, oh, look at this. Oh, I don't want to know. Okay. Yeah.
All right, Jimmy. Once again, thank you so much for being on. Before we say goodbye,
Hey, two comments. What is the proper etiquette for waving back to a security camera? And Jessica.
Hey,
Hi, Jessica.
It's, security cameras are one finger waves. Hey.
Oh my.
I can't. Jessica's married now. I can't do that anymore.
What? You can't give her the finger?
No,
Hello, baby.
I can't do that anymore.
I mean, you still can. What the hell?
Yes,
Yeah.
You're just saying hi.
yes, I am. All right. So anyway, August 26th,
Yes.
the final order cutoff date
Yes.
for your stores. For the stores.
Yes.
All right, is August 3rd.
Oh, that gives them plenty of time.
That's right. That's
Man.
so. Eric, everyone, do you own the LCS? Let's get this book on the shelves.
Yeah.
There is the website.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's give Absolute Batman a break for a month.
Yes, absolutely. Pardon the pun. let's get this book out on the shelf. Jimmy, please tell everyone where they can find you
In
on
the
social
gutter.
media.
In the gutter.
Not your mind. Where they can find you.
I'm on X or Twitter, you want to call it. I'm on there. I'm on Instagram under my name, J Palmiotti. Palmiotti. You put it in. There's only like 3 of us.
Three.
And I'm on TikTok under my name.
TikTok.
You know what? I had a client that wanted me to get on TikTok. I never, I was like, I pushed against it, and so I did a couple of videos on there. I'm not on it a lot because I feel like I don't want to look at me. Like I appreciate you guys doing this, but I don't necessarily like looking at myself. If there was no mirrors in I went to dinner yesterday, and I noticed when I went to the bathroom, my hair was all crazy, and I'm like, nobody tells me anything, and so but I went on TikTok, and I got whatever, how many people following it. So I'm on those 3 things, probably Blue Sky too, even though I don't go on it too much. The only thing I'm not mostly on is Facebook, which I got off Facebook like 12 or 13 years ago and never went back. And I just found I was too accessible to ex-girlfriends and people I didn't want to see from my growing up. So I got.
All right, so Jim, really quick,
Yeah.
Denver comes out. Denver comes out.
Right.
Con season's going down. It's slowing down. Our audience, they got the book. but they're here on the East Coast. They want to send it down south. They want to send it to the West Coast. They want to send it to you for an autograph.
Right.
How do they get it to you? Do you have that post office box set up?
I
They send it to the shop.
Yeah,
Where
so
can they
if
get
you
it?
go to paperfilms.com, we can do that for you. I would say go to the site. A little pop-up comes up. Join the site. I only email you once a month, and it's usually just with new art and stuff like that, what I'm doing. Do that or come to any con. So any con I do, the first book is always free. Amanda and I sign our first books free. So we figure if nobody has money, we'll sign the book. One free is good, and then it's $5 after or $10. I don't even know what it is. Patrick takes care of that. We do the signature stuff because we pay for people. We have to pay for things. It used to be the good old days where you didn't have to do that so much, but everybody's about money these days, and I hate to say it, but we still keep the one free. And I always tell people, if you have 2 books, come by, get it signed, and then I'll see you in an hour or two. Come by again. I'm not going to get mad at you. I get it, you know. Or if you have counting your kid, I count the kid as 2. If you have like 4 kids, I count that as four signatures. I do that because my most important thing in a con is to interact with you guys and talk and hang out. You know, it's great to make a little money, and we love to pay for the dinners that we're going to have that night. But the reality is, I want to meet the people that support me, and that's the best thing. So paperfilms.com is the place to go. I'm always there. You can always reach me. You can send books. We have all kinds of things. Amanda's artwork is there. My artwork, everybody's. So that's where to go. By the way, I want to say how much I love your ads and how much music you have on this show.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I do a lot of podcasts, and it's sort of like, you know, there's a void. It's just like the guy asked the question, and it's, you know, how I got started, and I get that. But this one has like it feels like a real show, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, you know what? We have a saying, Jim, and it's, you were with the rest, now you're with the best.
I feel it. I feel it down here, right here. Yeah, all the
Well,
way.
you're just saying that because we got history, but keep going.
No, that's not true. I don't throw things out there too willy-nilly. But I was enjoying the commercial breaks, and I said, "Oh, look at them! They got sponsors. They're really doing it," you know. And I appreciate, and I like that, because when I don't see that, I always get a little like sad. I get like, oh man, you know, you're working so hard. Go out there, man. You know, make a difference.
From the bottom of my heart, dude. Thank you. That means a lot. I mean, Sophia and I, we try very hard. I've been around doing this for 12 years. I started with Jar Jar. Sophia came on a year and a half ago, and dude, thank you. That means a lot.
Hey, you know, I just calling it as I see it. You know, and thank you for having me. I mean, I love doing this show, and you know, I'm easy to reach. So anytime you want me back, you know, I got a lot of stuff coming out.
Dude, we told you before, you don't have to go through Melissa. The second your name came up, I said, hey, get a hold of Jimmy right now.
That's her job. Like, we don't want to take away her job.
I know.
So when I do books, we got Pop Kill coming up, and I got another one I didn't announce yet coming up. So, you know, everybody's got their job. I got to let her do her job. I know I can get to you guys directly, but I want people to have jobs. With AI going around, we need people with jobs.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. Hey, we're going to let you go. I got to go eat dinner. I got to go see my wife.
All right.
Give my best to Amanda, please.
Will do. Thank you, guys.
Sophia, you're welcome.
Thank
Sophia,
you.
before he goes, tell everyone where they can find you and us in this weekend Rhode Island Anime Con road trip for the Angry Geeks. I can't wait. Me and the little one hanging out all weekend long. Go.
My name is Sophia Cormier. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky, Cameo, Patreon. You can find the Angry Geeks on the same platforms and the AngryGeeksShow.com.
And don't forget, on Pod TV, on Roku, and on Amazon Friday night, Saturday mornings. You're sitting there like Jimmy and I used to do on Saturday mornings, put it on the TV, and you're eating and you're watching like cartoons and stuff. But now you get to see this face while you're eating your breakfast in the morning. But we expect you to come to Rhode Island Anime Con and see Sophia and I on stage, especially for Saturday night for
That
Singing
face.
and Blinging, baby. That's right, that face. Singing and blinging Saturday night Well, we're live, and I'm looking for the outro. Anyway, we love you guys. No show this Thursday night because Jar Jar and I are going to go see Masters of the Universe. So no show this Thursday night. Can't wait to go see that. Love you guys, and we'll see you at Rhode Island Anime Con.
Bye.
Oh, bye, Bob. Thank you very much. Love you too, sweetheart. Start the raid.